Welcome to Off the Menu with me, Minnie Jacob. Today we have yet another very special guest who, with over 30 years in the food and beverage industry, my guest today has expertise in driving operational excellence, financial growth, and strategic alignment. Their background in tourism and hotel management has shaped their leadership approach, enabling them to build high-performing teams that deliver long-term value to the company and stakeholders. Meet Alaa, General Manager of ServQuest Restaurants Management LLC. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Manny. Thanks for the introduction. It's more than
30
I deserve.
years.
Thank you. Yeah.
30 years.
Yeah, I'm pretty old.
That's a
I'm
long
pretty old. Yeah,
time.
I'm pretty old. I'm pretty old.
Okay, so shall we start with, can you share the story behind ServQuest's journey towards, embracing innovative operational practices, and what was that initial spark that drove these changes?
Yeah, pretty sure that we all know UAE is one of the most innovative countries around the world currently. And being in this country for more than 12 years right now, 13 years, I've learned a lot that if you're not engaged very well with technology, if you're not updated with the technology trend innovations, if you're not trying to come up with a new solution for each problem that you are facing with your specific industry, I think you might be left behind. And here is when ServQuest comes handling a QSR business. I think we have studied the market very well about the QSR. And QSR, we talk about quick service restaurant or fast food, as they call it. And with the word fast food, it comes a lot of challenges. And definitely the challenge comes when you are fast, you're not consistent. When you are not fast, when you are fast, you're not giving the customer what they are really looking at. So it was very important to give the customer what they are looking for when it comes to fast delivery, fast service on the counter, but at the same time, considering the consistency of the quality products. And here is the innovation and the technology comes on how they can streamline all the 3 or 4 sides of the business. Let's call them business channels. So if you talk about walk-in customers, if you're talking about delivery customers, if you're talking about drive-through customers, all those business channels need to speak to each other. Definitely, as an operator, you need to have a kind of a dashboard to give you visibility on how those channels are performing and how you can integrate all of them to working with the same rhythm. So you're not going to prefer to give a better service on the walk-in customer more than the delivery and vice versa. So here is the technology roles come to do the integration part first. And after the integration, there's a lot of analytical data that you have to bring on, study it very well. Then I think setting up the KPIs is more important before you bring the technology. What is the goal of embracing the technology? Because there is technology related to trends, and there is other technologies are really efficient and really useful and that really needed to the business. And I think here comes the overall evaluation on the business case, where we're standing, where we're going, and what kind of technology can fit us as of the moment.
Right.
That's simply how we think about it in ServQuest.
So how do you decide, like you very nicely put it, like there is the technology that is the trend and there's technology that's really needed. So how do you determine which is needed for the business?
No, I can give you a very, very simple example. There is a technology currently related to payment gateways. For example, if you are in a fine dining and there is a QR code that you can use on the table to pay the bill, all right? And if you are 4 or 5 sitting on the same table, 5 of you can do the payment separately for the bill. That cannot really suit the QSR business, right?
Right, absolutely.
So this is a technology related to a very comfortable seating, 2 or 3 hours of having food experience. And instead of have 2 minutes transaction happening on the cashier, either you make it or you break it, right? So the customer expectation when he comes to the fast food or to the QSR business, he expected to be finished within 2 minutes, make his choice, do the payment, and his food comes 5 or 6 minutes later, right? So this kind of technology doesn't suit the QSR business. So you need to understand your business and you need to understand what kind of technology are really related to what you do.
Right, right.
Yeah,
You touched upon the topic of data analytics earlier. So, how has
yeah,
ServQuest integrated data analytics into its daily operations? And what's
yeah.
the kind of impact that you've seen in efficiency and the customer satisfaction as a result of that? Something you can shed light on?
Yeah, for sure. I think I can take a step back and talk about KPIs first, about using the technology. So, in terms of the QSR business, if we're going to talk about KPIs, definitely one of them was going to be the productivity, efficiency, minimize the serving time, minimize the waste, understand the traffic come to your outlet, what are the peak hours, what are the slow hours, because that will end up in a proper planning in terms of production, deploying manpower. So you can use the technology in order to understand what are your peak hours, schedule your stuff accordingly, prepare your food and production on the same time while you understand the sales and trend in terms of delivery versus walk-in, because you might have a rush in the walk-in, but you don't have the same rush in delivery. Or might you have both together? So the data will give you all this analyticals and it will minimize the risk, minimize the waste, give the customer what they expect, understand the customer behavior, will lead to a customer satisfaction.
Right, right. Fair. That's great. That's nice. Now, one thing that we have not talked about as yet is, of course,
Yeah.
your team, the
Okay.
team that works with you, right? And
Yeah, absolutely.
undoubtedly, I think your success, the brand success, it's all linked to the team's abilities and their prowess. So,
Absolutely.
do you have some specific ways in which you design and deliver training programs that
Okay.
ensure that the staff are not only comfortable with the new technology, but are also motivated to leverage it for customer service?
Yeah. So I would say in ServQuest, we have two elements that we really focus on. We are making sure 100% that the technology part will never come over the human touch. So although we are using the technology heavily in our operation, but we really care about how that will impact the customer experience. And who is dealing with the customers? Definitely our staff. So let me start saying the staff are the major part of the success. They are the core of the business. Looking after them, let them understand why we're using technology is the key element in this formula, right?
Yep.
So not just to introduce the technology, they need to understand why and how this impact them on their daily tasks, how this help them to produce better, faster, and give them the comfortable zone that they are looking at. And that comes with training, workshops, real-time data analysis, and they have to be engaged from day one till the end. And not only to give them a training while you're embracing the new technology in place, you have to do that on quarterly pace, on a monthly pace, to let them keeping up all the time with the updates. They have to understand why this and why now and why in this place. Once we answer those three questions, they will embrace it more and they're gonna be
Right.
more effective. And I will tell you something, sometimes I'm getting a lot of good new ideas from the staff themselves about
Fantastic.
simple modifications can be done in this technology can lead to better results. But this is only happen when you engage them enough.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But there's also always a resistance to change, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
anybody,
yeah.
people
It's a
have a
human nature.
resistance
Yeah,
to change.
yeah,
Yes, human
yeah,
nature, absolutely.
yeah.
So has there been any particular situation in which you've had a pushback from the team for any new technology that you wanted to adopt?
I think with the AI coming now in everything that we do, I think everyone is starting to just shake a bit about what the AI will do. Like, for example, there is multiple business models happening right now on the drive-through business that the AI will take care of it from A to Z. So
Right.
a solution can speak to 30, 40 language with accent.
Yeah.
Um, you as a customer driving your car to the drive-through, the minute that the AI will recognize your face or your name or your phone number, he will start to speak your language, your accent. He can recognize your previous order and he can suggest even an addition to your order to make it more fantastic. It will make your experience more delightful. I think here is the struggle between, it's really that AI with all these benefits and all those features can give the same experience as a human being who's saying hi, smiling in your face, having an interaction, maybe throwing a joke. And maybe the other way around. Maybe you're going to have a bad
Yeah.
experience during this. So it's not only in a good side, sometimes in a bad side. I think we're going to figure it out those coming days on.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely it will have a kind of saving in terms of cost on the long term. But a lot of questions being asked. What
What
if the
if?
system has a bug? What if it's stopped out of the sudden?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
How are you
I
going to
mean,
fix it?
after all,
Yeah.
it's a human versus AI, and we still
Yeah, yeah,
don't know,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Absolutely. We still don't
It's a
know.
tricky
There's a
one,
lot
that
of
one.
questions need to be answered yet.
Yes, yeah. So if you go back in your experience,
Yeah.
what would you say has been one of the toughest operational challenges that you've encountered, and how did you employ any kind of innovative solutions to optimize that process? Something that you can give an example from your experience?
I think, and this is always going to be the topic, in my opinion. It has been a big topic in the UAE for the last 4 or 5 years about the delivery aggregators, integrations, and how the food business operators are not getting 100% satisfaction from this transition. And we found out there is a technology as a third party coming in between to integrate between the aggregators and the system of the restaurant. But we are in ServQuest, we find a common ground to integrate directly with the aggregators without third party at all. So we're having real-time data on what's going on our delivery business channels. And I would say the delivery contribution to the business currently in the EU is huge. And this goes across all the segments. So this is a big part, an important part of the business that we cannot neglect. We have to give enough attention to the technology accompanying this raise of the business channel. So I think, and here I'm going to talk more about data. So the more technology that we deploy to understand the customer data, customer behaviors, what they are looking at, I think the more benefit will come back to the business. So it is challenging and still challenging yet until now. There is a lot of aggregators that they have a huge customer data in the back end, but how to utilize it, how to use it the best way, I don't think they are there yet. There's some small businesses understand their customers way better than them. And my advice that each and everyone who operate food business, you need to have some sort of customer data for yourself. Don't open it all for everyone. You need to gather as much as you can so you can seek a part of your business in the future.
Yeah, that's great advice. I think that makes a lot of sense. Of course, when you talk about technology of any
Yeah,
form, there is a lot of investment involved most of the
sure.
times, right? So how do you measure the return on investment for your technology or process optimization? Do you have some kind of KPIs, or how do you track to ensure that the changes are actually paying off? Do you have any system as such?
Yes, definitely. So I think again, I will start with the KPIs. So the company itself, the strategy of the company need to have a specific KPIs they are looking at. So the technology that we're gonna embrace or integrate in the system, what we are expecting, we're gonna pay some sort of investment to have this technology in place. What is the return of investment on this technology? Are we looking purely sales? Are we looking on the wastage? Are we looking on business optimization? Are we looking at improving the customer journey? Because this is part of return of investment as well at the long term. So it doesn't really have to be 100% pure financial because there is other elements. If it get improved on the long term, it will impact the return of investment definitely. So the more technology, for example, that you deploy in the customer journey, customer satisfaction, it's not going to be apple to apple immediately. But on the long term, you're going to build the trust bridge between you and the customer. Frequency of visits of your customer will increase. Then you're going to start to see more stability of the business on the long term. So this is when it comes to the customer journey. There's another part might come on the inventory management, for example. So the technology deployed in this part of the business will start to show you the gaps. Will start to show you where you need to control, where are the high profitable or high selling items that you need to focus your marketing on, how you can reduce and minimize your wastage on daily basis. And can appear to you in 3, 4, 5 months from starting deploying this technology. You're going to start to see the impact on your cost. So there's too many elements that we have to decide on before we deploy the technology. Is it sales? Yes. What is the percentage of sales improvement? Is it cost? What is the percentage of cost improvement expected? Is it customer satisfaction? How that will impact on the customer feedback on Google reviews and social media? So all that need to be studied, be specific about it. And on monthly basis, on each quarter, you have to sit down and review. Definitely your finance team need to be involved and your quality team. Yeah.
They are the
Yeah.
ones who make it realistic for you, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
In your face. Great, Alaa. The last question for you, more futuristic, is what kind of operational disruptions do you predict will shape the restaurant industry in the coming years? And how is ServQuest kind of preparing to integrate
Yeah.
those forward-thinking strategies?
I still see the delivery business contribution in the future will still remain the major part of improving the business on the long term. Given the circumstances on how everyone is busy right now, how the summer hits, as we can see that, and the journey to a restaurant become more and more difficult to have a proper experience. So most of the people would prefer during 12 to 6, 12 to 8, they have delivery, fast, convenient, comes fast. So I think the more technology will be deployed in this segment, I think the return of investment in this part will be better, without neglecting definitely the in-house customer experience. But I would say invest in data, invest in data, invest in data. This is the most important things coming in the future.
Fantastic. That's amazing, Alaa. Thank you so much for
Thank you
your
so much.
insights and thank you for being on the show.
Appreciate it.
Wish you the very best for ServQuest
Thank you.
journey in the future.
Thank you so much, Penny.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.